be like, damn, slow down. I know you see a queen adjusting her crown. She been knocked down, but she never stayed down. She be living life like it's her playground. And they be like, damn, slow down. They can catch us, she be moving too fast.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Can y'all believe this is the last week of May? Like, we are already in the middle of the year. Next week makes the middle of the year with it being June. I am in complete shock. I know I start every live off saying how fast time is going, but time is really going. I don't know, at this rate that we going, I don't know what the rest of the year is gonna look like. We gonna blink and it's gonna be over. It's really crazy. But I hope everyone is just, keeping their spirits high, keeping their heads on a swivel, because there is so much going on in this world that, I know I've been feeling it. Like, I just feel like I don't have any tolerance. Oops, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have any tolerance for a lot of stuff these days. It's just, I'm just trying to stay in a positive area, keep my mind and mental right. So before we start off today's live, I do want to go ahead and bring up the sponsored content. This live is being brought to us by a company by the name of Cori's Covers. And let me go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me make sure y'all can hear me before I share my screen. Okay, yeah, y'all can't hear me. Okay, let me share my screen. But yes, like I was saying, today's video is being brought to us on behalf of Cori's Covers. This is a custom baby blanket company that hand designs baby blankets that you, of course, can swaddle your baby in. It's perfect for baby announcements when they're first born. It's just perfect for cute nursery decor. So this is like one of the blankets that they have made. This is what the baby, of course, looks like in the blankets. So freaking cute. They can custom make any design that you want. And they're very affordable. They are actually hosting a Memorial Day sale. So every blanket is starting at $50. If you guys would like to shop, I will leave their link in the description box below. So go ahead and shop. Now, because of the topic that we're talking about in today's video, you guys do not buy a blanket for a baby that you have stolen, allegedly, okay? Buy this blanket for your baby, your friend's baby, a baby that you have legally adopted, but do not buy these baby blankets for no stolen babies, okay? Do not do it. Do not do it. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link to the website now. If you guys want to shop, that is the link to it. Like I said, it is a Memorial Day sale going on. All the blankets are $50. So go ahead and shop that if you like. Sharice, I am being so serious. Do not buy no stolen baby blankets, please and thank you. Just don't do it. Don't buy no baby blankets for no stolen babies. I mean, don't do it. Okay. Period, point blank. So in today's video, like I said by the title, this is a crazy story. And I want to give y'all the backstory on exactly how I found this story. First, where's my manners? Now that we've paid the bills, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Ty. Hey, Vicky. Hey, India. Hey, Cece. Please go ahead and like this live on your way in. Hi, Miss Ra. Hi to Angela. Hi, Jay Breezy. Hey, Mama Kim. Hey, Sharice. Hey, Pure. Please like this live on your way in. And make sure that you guys are subscribed if you like content like this. Now, I came across this crazy story from good old Facebook, y'all. Crazy, I know, because what? But anyway, on Facebook, somebody was like, are y'all keeping up with this crazy story with TD Jake's daughter? Now, when they initially said that, I'm thinking they're talking about the other daughter that, had a baby out of wedlock. She was a young mother. Y'all know that story that was, like 10 years ago, a few years ago or whatever. I'm like, dang, what's she do now? Whole time I'm not realizing this has nothing to do with her, but his other daughter. And it's not uncommon for um families like this to be ridiculed and in the public eye because they are a family of the church. TD Jakes owns one of the largest churches ever, like in general. It's a mega church in Texas. So it's not uncommon for them to be under so much scrutiny because, people of the church, you got to live a certain way. So I'm thinking I was just going to hear something along the lines of, a church scandal. This threw me for a loop. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about TD Jake's daughter. Her name is Cora Jakes. This is her on the screen right here. Cora Jakes is now divorced, but she was at the time that the allegation started. She was married to her husband, and they actually have infertility issues. So she is trying to conceive, and unfortunately, she has not been able to conceive naturally. So them wanting to start a family comes from that, and they did start the journey of adoption. They had already adopted a daughter. I'm not going to say her name or anything, but they have adopted a daughter, and we're going to get onto her later. So before that, or after that, they had no other children. Well, earlier this month, a woman comes online and she claims that Cora stole her baby. Now, fast forward after they adopted the daughter, a few years later, she started to post about a son named Jason. So everybody's like, oh, okay, you have a new baby. No one's thinking anything of it. Now, initially, when she started posting the baby, she was posting the baby as being his auntie slash godmom. So it was completely like, oh, okay. But then it became, this is my son. No one asked questions why, no one knew why. They just knew that Cora and her husband now have two children. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and we're going to talk about the serious allegations that this lady is making. And I did go ahead and look up some laws. I did look up a lot of information about what she was saying. And there is a few other people that have been covering this story. It's been a TikTok person, and it's been Larry Reed on YouTube that have been covering this story, and they have been doing an amazing job. So I am going to link their information down below if you guys want to watch it later. So this is Michelle on the screen. I could not find another picture of her like to show you guys, but this is Michelle. We're going to play her story and then we're going to talk about it.
I was homeless. I was leaving a 4 or 5 year relationship. I had 3 kids already, and I was pregnant with my 4th born, Jason. When we got reacquainted, she told me that she'll be there to help me. She told me that she was only there to help me. After I had Jason, it was just like I was just set up from the beginning. She was not there to help me. She was actually there to take my child.
So she's all over the place, and I know a lot of people have a hard time following these type of stories when they started like this. So I'm gonna just be, talking and explaining it in between. So what she's saying right now is when she had this baby by the name of Jason, before she had the baby, she was going through a lot. She was going through a tumultuous time where she was going through a divorce. She already had 3 other children, and she was at a very low place. And a lot of people that are in this low place seek the what? The church. They seek people that are spiritual leaders. They are people that, claim to be of God so they can, get some help. So she started to confide in Cora. That is who she's talking about. She confided in Cora, and Cora told her that she was going to help her during this difficult time that she was in. That is how their relationship started. It was not a relationship where Cora actually knew her. She knew her because she knew her from this weak, vulnerable place that Michelle, which is on the screen, came from.
And she did everything that she could to get what she wanted, her and her husband. From constantly telling me that I didn't have my son for myself, to backing me in a corner in her office at her home when they stayed in Grand Prairie, her and her husband Brandon, and telling me that if I did not give my son to them, that they would take him from me. Making me feel like I was inadequate to take care of one child, although I already had 3 kids. Making it seem like she was there to help me, but the whole time she was planning and conniving to take my son Jason. After I had my son Jason, because while I was pregnant with Jason, I was depressed. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I was fucking depressed. You understand what I'm saying? So when I had Jason, I went into postpartum depression. I never dealt with that in my whole entire life or having children. I've never dealt with postpartum depression. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. I just know that I was dealing with it. You know, and she took that and she prayed on my vulnerability to the point where she had me in front of a fucking MacBook recording and asking me questions, talking about it was counseling, but it wasn't counseling. Because later on down the line, a few years later, she would then use that evidence against me in court when I went to fight for my son.
So she's all over the place, but I'm going to bring it back home. So she's saying that, of course, she was going to counseling. She was under the impression that Cora was going to help her before she even had the baby. But during this time, when she was helping her, she was already, what I would say is, conditioning her to think that she was not adequately able to care for this baby. So she would say a lot of things. But once Michelle had baby Jason, that is when the whole, like, kind of real narrative started to come through, where she is like, you're not able to care for this baby would be better off with us. And she started to actually allegedly record Michelle and her vulnerable spaces and the things that she was saying. Now, Michelle alleges that she was going through postpartum depression. So with that, she did not really have a connection to the baby. So when she was saying certain things about not being close to the baby and not wanting the baby, allegedly, Michelle was recording this and using it for her advantage later down the line when they allegedly went to court. So I just wanted to clarify that with it, because it's all over the place, but she's going to continue to talk about it and explain it.
Okay? She used that shit against me. Okay? What was supposed to be for healing, what was supposed to be for ministry, what was supposed to be for all of that, she used it against me in court to take my son, okay? Now, I don't know how many mothers that dealt with postpartum depression, but that shit is fucking real, okay? It causes you to be detached from your child. It causes you to feel like, maybe you don't love your child. This shit is real. And in my case, it caused a detachment. Not that I didn't love him, but I didn't feel close and connected with him because of the postpartum depression, not because of who I am as a mom. And that bitch prayed on that shit. And when you fighting against people with money, and I'm talking about real money, that shit is hard as fuck. I represented myself in trial by myself. And I had to sit up there and come to the agreement because I didn't know how to fight no more. They paid my lawyer off. They paid the judge off. They didn't even want to submit their income documents, her health documents, nothing, to the point where they had even the little minions around them doing the work for you. You know what I'm saying? That girl, for a whole year straight after I had my baby, did whatever she could to put it in my head that my baby was not for me, to the point where she brought down a so-called prophet by the name of Gaylena. Okay? And they performed this whole little, I call it an exorcism now. They had me laying on the floor, speaking in tongues over me, pouring oil over me. Then she comes up with this elaborate story talking about I didn't have Jason for myself, that I had Jason for Cora and Brandon Coleman, and how she could see Brandon sitting on some type of throne. And it was my son that was sitting on his lap, and he was just laughing and playing. To the point where Cora told me after I had my son Liam that God gave me Liam so that Jason's real brother could come. Who the fuck is Jason's real brother? Because bitch, it sure ain't no child coming from you, because you can't have kids. She can't have kids. You understand what I'm saying? The bitch can't have kids.
So, CCC had a question. She said, "How old was Jason when Cora allegedly got him, and how old is he now?" So these are the children now. He is a big boy. This was years ago. This is how big the children are. So that's the adopted daughter, and that is Jason. He is, I believe, 6 or 7. So he is older. And the thing is, Cora had been watching and keeping Jason since he was a baby. She would post a lot of pictures of him before he was actually in her custody full time. She had been posting pictures of him, and she was saying that was her godchild, and she was the auntie / godmom. But when she actually really got him, it was around he was around 10 months to a year old. This is around the time when they brought in this prophet, which I am so sorry, but if you guys know anything about the church, prophets are very big in there, big in the church. So there, a lot of people have their views on it. I have my own view, but we're not going to talk about it now. But the prophet came in and basically read this woman while she was laying down, and she was still going through postpartum, and told her that this child was meant to be Cora's. She already had 3 children. She already had 3 children, but this baby, due to the prophecy, is supposed to be Cora's and her husband's. So she's upset, and that is what she's saying now. But yeah, it was around the 10-month mark to around the year mark. There is a woman that did go through Michelle's Instagram, and she was able to find around the timeline based off of the last picture that Michelle posted with Jason. But please know, the whole time that Jason was alive, he was being watched by Cora. So it was not something that was like a snatch. He would stay for weekends. He would go over there. And remember, this mom was in a tough place. So who knows if he was staying weeks on end, and she's thinking that they're just helping her. They're just helping her. But the whole time they're dropping gems like this is our baby.
I'm not the first person that she tried this with, but I'm the only person that she got this fucking for with, and I'm tired of being quiet. To the point now, from 2018 to now, Brandon Coleman was locked up on May 4th for sexually assaulting the daughter, the adopted daughter, Amari. And it wasn't just a one-time offense. It was continuous sexual assault. So now I gotta sit here and I gotta think, well, did he touch my baby? Did he touch my baby? You understand what I'm saying? I haven't seen my child since 2018. They keep him from me. I don't know where they stay. I don't know where they live. I don't know their day-to-day thing. I don't know anything. This whole fucking time. And this man has been a motherfucking molester in your motherfucking home, but you're so worried about making this home, making this family, having these kids, that you're willing to steal, kill, and destroy other people's lives, other people's families. I can't tell y'all how many times my baby sit up here and ask me for their brother. Mama, when go see Jason. Mama, when is Jason coming home? And I don't have an answer to give him. I was homeless. I was leaving a 4 or 5 year relationship.
Okay, so that was the end of her video. It cut off, but she was saying she was in a 4 or 5 year relationship that broke up. So she was just in a very dark place from the moment that Jason was conceived up until he was taken. It was just a dark place for various different reasons. But Sharice, I didn't mean alive like he's no longer alive, but I was saying like the duration of his life, he was in the care of Cora. But as you guys heard, she said that this is not the first time that allegedly Cora has tried to take someone's child, and it's because she cannot conceive. Now, there are a lot of people that, we see on TV that have a hard time conceiving or really want children, and they do a lot of crazy things to get children. Some rip them out people's bellies, some take them from the hospital. But a lot of people was like, well, if Cora has so much money, why wouldn't she just legally adopt? As you guys heard, Michelle dropped the bombshell. Cora's now ex-husband has serious SA allegations against him. He is still in jail right now. His bond is set at $150,000. So you do the math. It's real deal. He has serious allegations, and the SA allegation has the word continuous in it. Okay? Continuous. So that does not mean one time. That does not mean 2 times. It is continuous. It was ongoing. So you guys can take that for what it is. I can't say the exact words. Y'all know how YouTube is. But they are no longer married, but he is still in jail, and he has these continuous SA allegations against him. He is a known P word, okay? Allegedly in the law, in the eyes of the law, right? So with the situation, Michelle is saying that, or she has later said that basically Cora coerced her into signing over her rights to avoid adoption process. This is very common. So I looked up the process of signing over your rights versus an adoption. So we're going to go over it because with adoption, y'all know it's a lot more lengthy. It means that basically you have to, they would never be approved. Let's just put it like that. This husband was not a candidate to be fit to be a parent. But when you sign over your rights, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to share my screen to read you guys basically a law journal that I found that went over it. So it's titled, "What is Involved in Signing Over Parental Rights?" It says there are some cases in which parents may voluntarily sign over their rights to their children, taking away both the responsibility and privileges that often come with having children. Very rarely do judges allow parents to go this route, as there must be a good reason aside from not wanting to pay child support. The process often varies by location, but in general, it requires the parents to fill a petition for termination of parental rights. There will be a hearing. So that's what she was talking about when they went to court. There will then be a hearing in which the judge decides whether to grant the request, only after explaining to the parent the rights and responsibilities that are being relinquished. The first step to signing over parental rights is typically to fill out a petition for termination of parental rights. This requires the parents to fill out the name, age, address of the child, as well as the same information for the parents or legal guardian of the child. If this information is unknown, the parents must explain why. Additionally, the parents needs to explain why she wants to terminate her rights and then sign over the form. In most cases, the parent needs a good reason for signing over parental rights, as it is considered a serious event that judges do not tend to grant often. The most common reason to voluntarily sign over rights is for an adoption to take place, usually by the custodial parent's new spouse. In order for the new husband or wife to adopt the child, the absent parent must sign over their rights. So that's like, say a mom and a dad had a baby. They broke up and the mom gets a new husband and the husband then wants to adopt a child. Usually or typically the biological father will sign over their rights. So that's what they're talking about in this situation. But it still applies for adoption, just not the same adoption process of a child being in foster care. That makes sense. The word adoption is still used. Since this process is usually completed for the good of the child, it is usually granted by a judge. On the other hand, in cases of irreconcilable differences, the other parent are okay, so that has nothing to do with it. Boom. Once the application to terminate parental rights has been filed, there usually is a hearing so that the judge can make a decision. In most cases, the judge will carefully explain to the parent the consequences of signing over her parental rights. For example, the rights of visitation, tax cuts, and making decisions that will affect the child that are relinquished. In general, most courts rarely grant the request, as there are a few good reasons for voluntarily relinquishing parental rights. So that is what I basically read up on in the process of signing over your rights. And it actually, unfortunately, matches up to what Michelle said. So Michelle said, allegedly, that she was being coerced. She was being talked to, and she even had a prophet. She also said that she was homeless and she had 3 other children. So when she's signing over her rights, allegedly, she's using this verbiage. I have no way of caring for Jason. Jason will be better fit with parents like Cora or and the father, Cora's husband, and that's why she wants to do it. Now, when she did it, of course, it's a temporary grant. So the child, Jason, goes over with Cora. But allegedly with Michelle, once they had court to make it finalized, she said, no, like, I'm sorry. No. I made a mistake. I want Jason back. Like, I was not in the right space when I did this. But unfortunately, in cases like this, Michelle is alleging that this known family used their money and profit and power to basically make sure that they were going to get the child. Now, I know a lot of people's like, bull crap, ain't no judge gonna just, be coerced. But think about it like this. Jason was in a home where he probably had his own room. He had a 2-parent home. He had a new sibling. And he had already been in this care of Cora basically his whole life. Compared to Michelle. She had 3 other children. Her housing situation was very unstable. What would you do? You already signed over your rights. Do you think the judge would say, oh, you want your baby back? Here you go. No, the odds was already stacked up against her, which unfortunately, I do think that Cora and them already knew that. They already knew that. They're like, once we got him, because no judge is going to take a baby back to poverty for anything. You know what I'm saying? So that is basically my thought process on it. So I was able to follow what Michelle was saying once I looked up like signing over your rights compared to an adoption that we know about a child in foster care. So it does match up to what she's saying. The judge was a powerful judge. The judge said no. And the reason for saying no was because it was all of her business was already put on Front Street. Cora could prove that you didn't want this baby based off of what she was saying. She could prove that she couldn't provide for the baby because she had unstable housing, and she could prove all this. So the judge was, of course, going to grant in their favor. So ever since then, Michelle has been trying to fight for her child back. Now, oh yes, India, you're ahead of it. So yes, allegedly, TD Jakes knew the judge that was involved in the case. Allegedly. Now, the judge that was involved in the case, of course, they reside in Texas. TD Jakes has a mega church. TD Jakes is a very known Republican. Everybody knows that. And the judge was a very known Republican judge. So, now, Cece, my question about the father was the same. I don't know where the biological father is. I don't know if it's the man that she was dating and they broke up. I don't know if he's the same father to Jason as the other 3 children. Who knows if he even signed the birth certificate? If he didn't sign the birth certificate, then he really didn't have a say, unfortunately. She could sign over everything herself because she's the only known parent to the child. So the father is unknown. But another thing that was allegedly said is that Cora has allegedly done it again. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play the TikTok for you guys of the woman that broke this down, because I don't want to steal her content and it's not my words. She did allegedly make this connection, so we're gonna watch it together to see what is allegedly being said about what Cora is doing today. One second, y'all. I'm gonna be reading y'all comments while I try to log in. I don't know why my TikTok logged me out. I hate when it does that. No one, I don't know my password. Ooh. Hopefully this is it. Okay, so one of the comments said, even if the Jakes have custodial or adoptive rights, why not let the mother at least see the child? Because they don't have to. They don't have to. And of course, why would they think of it like this? Cora, this is Cora's baby. This is the baby that Cora wanted. She fought hard for. There's no way in hell she's gonna let that lady see that baby. For the main reason being, she doesn't want Michelle to, one, take the baby back, or tell the baby, anything about her. This is not uncommon. That's their baby. In their head, they're not going to let no one take the baby or even see the baby. What's the point? The baby thinks that Cora is the mother. In my opinion, I don't even think that he knows, because he was a baby. I don't think he even knows that that's not his or that his biological mother wants him back. That's just my opinion. I can't say for certain, but I don't think that he knows. Okay, I got her finally. Let me read one more question. Pineapple said they played her, but she practically put all the places in place for them to do so. However, it's still not right. Exactly. And this is, a lot of people get they put too much trust in people. I'm not gonna say people like church going people, but people in general. When you're in a low place and she's trying to fight for her life or fight for some sanity, and someone is telling her all the right answers, of course she's gonna believe it. Yeah, he probably didn't sign. Exactly. Because whatever dark place she was in, it had to be around, it had to be something how Jason was conceived for her to even seek the help of a church. Even if we already read that. Miss Cora was recently gifted a baby. She sure was. So we about to play the video now. Garden Gal said, I think it speaks to them planning to take the baby, not step in for safety of the child. To me, it's all disturbing. Yes, but if you look at it through the eyes of the church, Michelle had to admit, yes, I knew Cora. They don't care if Cora stalked her and preyed on her. Did you meet her? Yes. Did you allow Jason to be over there days on end? Yes. This is all the things that they want to know. So it's going to be hard to prove that Cora allegedly stole this baby and plotted against this. It's going to be hard. It's not something that she's going to be able to just say, because she signed over rights. She shared a lot of information, and she allowed Cora in on too much. She allowed Cora to know a little too much about her life, and that's what sucks. So this is the lady on the screen that is talking about it as well. Her name is Stephanie Hall. So like I told you guys, Larry Reed on YouTube is the one that broke the story. Stephanie on TikTok did reactions to it. Now, Larry Reed is still currently talking to Michelle. I'm not going to play his videos or anything. I am going to play a little bit of it where she explains how the adoption happened. But other than that, I'm going to link their stuff below so you guys can watch on your own. This is just my reaction under the fair use to react to this information.
The word, okay? Part
Let me mute myself so it won't be no echo.
two. So if you don't know what we're talking about, click this comment here and you're going to figure out exactly what's going on with baby Jason.
Take my son Jason. After I had my son Jason, because while I was pregnant with Jason, I was depressed. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I was fucking depressed. You understand what I'm saying? So when I had Jason, I went into postpartum depression. I never dealt with that in my whole entire life or having children. I never dealt with postpartum depression. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. I just know that I was dealing with it. You know, and she took that and she prayed on my vulnerability to the point where she had me in front of a fucking MacBook recording and asking me questions, talking about it was counseling, but it wasn't counseling. Because later on down the line, a few years later, she would then use that evidence against me in court when I went to fight for my son. Okay?
So you can see in Michelle's testimony there on Instagram, she's explaining exactly how Cora allegedly manipulated her into giving up her son. Earlier in that recording, Michelle stated that she was actually backed into a corner, and Cora and her husband Brandon stated that if she didn't give them her child, they were going to take him from her. I was actually able to dig up some photos of the last time that Michelle actually seen her baby Jason, and in the caption seen here, she says, "Without you, I've got nothing to lose." Also, there are more images of Michelle showing off baby Jason at the time that she still had custody of him. This is actually the last image that I was able to find of Michelle and her baby on her Instagram together. Now, Cora has not come out with a statement about the allegations of coercion for her adoption of this child, but the reason why the entire story came out is because of this. On May 4th of 2022, Richard Brandon Coleman, Cora's now ex-husband, was actually booked for, well, you can see the charges right here that I'm not going to say out loud, and he had a bond set of $150,000. Now, in January of 2022, Cora and Brandon actually split up and filed for divorce. They never explained why they filed for divorce, but they just went ahead and filed for divorce after 10 years of marriage. And it kind of makes you wonder if those charges had anything to do with the reason why they were getting divorced. The next question you probably have was, why didn't Cora and her husband just go through the normal routine of trying to get a child through adoption? Why were they so set out on getting their friend's baby instead? I kind of have a theory to this. Part 3, though. Ma'am, with all due respect, rest your pretty little head because you're right on time. This is part 3. And if you don't know what we're referring to, click this comment back and you can see how TD Jake's daughter, Cora, stole a baby, allegedly. Now let's jump right into the theory about how Cora and her husband didn't take the normal routine on adopting a child. I got online, I went to a Black internet forum for churches and actually found this post here. This entire post is from 2019, and it's when Cora's husband was charged with, well, you can see all of these things he was charged with. Sounds like pretty dangerous stuff. And that's just only one litany of charges from 2019. I imagine if we took a look back, he'd probably have other charges pending under his name. And I think because of those charges, they were not able to take the normal route through adoption. And even though Cora and her family have a litany of money, all the money in the world would not change an adoption agency's eyes on her husband's previous past. But this is not the first time Cora's done that. In that image that I showed you in part 1, which I'm going to show you here, Cora and her husband actually have a first child that they adopted. Don't actually know where she got that child from, but that is the child that was adopted prior to baby Jason. But it doesn't stop there, because although Cora is a divorcee, she is on this rampage for more children. We don't know exactly where her insatiability for having children comes from, but we do know that Cora spoke briefly about her infertility issues. In this 2014 post, Cora actually posted this on her Instagram, and it states, "Sometimes you need to decrease your surroundings in order for God to increase your faith. Hashtag fertility faith." And while searching for Cora on LinkedIn, I actually found that she was the director and founder of the children's ministry, which is at the Potter's house, her father, T.D. Jakes' church. It actually doesn't stop there. Look at this post that Cora posted on her Instagram just 5 days ago. Now, here's an image of another baby named Baby Ruby, and Cora posted this on her Instagram 3 days ago. And in the caption below, she states, "My Ruby be napping, hashtag nappy, hashtag nap time." And in this other post, Cora actually posted this, and the caption below states, "My best friend gave me quite possibly the best gift ever during the hardest transition of my life."
Ah! That's my scream. When I seen this TikTok, I screamed. Who the fuck gives people kids? Who does this? We are not gifting water bottles. We are not gifting Dolce and Gabbana shoes. She said her best friend gifted her a baby during the hardest time of her life. Yeah, I cannot. I cannot. Like, this is why I had to just let y'all watch the TikTok for yourselves, because what the fudge? A gift of a baby? Mind you, let's rewind a little bit. So your friend, you on the phone with your friend, your best friend. You're telling her that your husband is nasty. He is going to jail for doing inappropriate things to children. And she said, you know what? For your loss of a husband, even though your house is in shambles, I'm going to give you another baby. It's giving, she bought this baby. That's what she don't know this lady. This is not her friend. She paid her. It's giving paid. No one in their right mind would do this. And no, it's not a surrogate. This is not her baby. This is not her DNA. This is not her eggs. They did not go to no clinic. Who's the daddy? Who's the daddy, Cora? This is not her baby. This is her best friend's baby. And we're going to go to the page so y'all can see. The friend is not carrying her for her. No, the friend is not. No, y'all. This has no DNA of Cora. This is not Cora's baby. Egg. No. Cousin. No. No. India said this is common, Audrey. People finessing young. Yes, disenfranchise women to get kids. Exactly. It's giving paid. It's giving, hey, if you have this baby, I'll buy it. That's what it's giving. But we'll break that down after she continues her, after Stephanie on the screen is done talking.
And it seems like that Cora was getting another baby. I'm not entirely sure if that baby was gifted to Cora because her friend thought it would be a gift to give a friend, or if it was through the same means as it was when she got baby Jason. The very beginning of her adoption of baby Jason, it actually wasn't adoption at all. Michelle stated that Cora simply stepped in to help as a godmother, and we can actually see that in some of the transcripts here. Let me show you. In that post with baby Jason, someone actually asked Cora, "Are you the mother?" Cora stated, "No, the auntie. He is Michelle Lau's baby. I just watch him every now and then." They make that abundantly clear that she was not the mother of that child. I'm going to have to do a part 4. Does not even explain this. I'm sorry, my hair looks so crazy. This is part 4, final part. So you have Michelle, who is missing a baby, Cora, who has 2 babies, her husband with child SA charges, now Cora getting a 3rd baby.
And when you fighting against people with money, and I'm talking about real money, that shit is hard as fuck. I represented myself in trial by myself. And I had to sit up there and come to the agreement because I didn't know how to fight no more. They paid my lawyer off. They paid the judge off. They didn't even want to submit their income documents or health documents, nothing, to the point where they had even a little minions around them doing the work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Every time I listen to her testimony, it just gets worse and worse. So let's get to that judge, okay? So this is Judge Faith Johnson. She's actually presided over their case. And according to Michelle, she's the one who got paid off, allegedly. Judge Faith Johnson was appointed by Greg Abbott. And yes, you see it there. She's a Republican. And I hate to bring politics into this, but as somebody with a degree in political science, we're going to have to talk about that. Now, TD Jakes has talked about staunchly how he is against the narratives and X, Y, and Z of the Republican Party. And I don't have to look that up. You can go look it up yourself. But the sheer fact that this Republican appointed judge was the judge presiding over that case, knowing that that woman who was fighting for the security of her child was no match up against the net worth of the Jake family. And when I say money, I mean money, honey. The Jake family own one of the largest churches in Texas. It's called the Potter's House. Let me show you an image. I mean, seriously, talk about mega churches. And that's the crazy part about this entire story, that this girl who had no money and no means to even defend herself or to defend her child was going up against this kind of money and that kind of power. That's it. I actually reached out to Michelle to see if I could sit down and do an interview with her so she can tell her story from beginning to end. Michelle's story, because it's so complex, should be really heard from her mouth. Also, because her case includes a child, the child's records have been sealed, so there's no access to those records, only through Michelle. And so fingers crossed that we're able to use our platform to be able to help her share her story and get her the desperate attention that she so needs. There you have it, you guys. Ghetto.
Okay, y'all. So thank you for the people that's DMing me. They said to continue to look at this lady's Snapchat or TikToks because she actually is continuously breaking it down, and I think she found the daddy. So she mentioned that she was trying to ask Michelle for an interview. I already told you guys, Michelle is actively talking to Larry Reed. So that's probably why she's not going to talk to Stephanie. Larry Reed was the one that broke this story. He actually talks to this woman on the phone. I'm going to link all that below, but we'll continue to watch these TikToks. Now, y'all, wait until y'all see this lady's Instagram of her and this new friend with the baby. Like, I'm so, my mind is blown. But let's see what else Stephanie was able to dig up, because this is crazy. This is crazy. Yes, somebody just wrote me on Instagram, Trey. So that's how I was able to see, because I only watched it past the part 4. She said that was the end of the video, so I didn't watch no more. I went on to Larry June or Larry Reed's, but Larry June is a rapper, y'all. Sorry. I went on to Larry Reed, but I guess Stephanie's still spilling tea. So this will be my initial time watching it with you guys.
Tell the shade room to call me. Part 5. As if the case couldn't get any more dicey. Now let's take a look at that judge with the bad wig. Now remember Judge Faith Johnson. She was an appointed attorney general by Greg Abbott, and she was actually the judge who presided over Cora and Michelle's case for the child custody. Now, while in the live last night, some of our nosy bystanders actually sent me one of these tweets from TD Jakes. The tweet says, "Congratulations to my dear friend Faith Johnson on her recent selection as a Dallas County District Attorney." Interesting. Now, Bishop, you know that woman presided over your daughter's case. Y'all don't think that's a conflict of interest? Hold on, I got another picture. And that doesn't even sit there. Not only are they good friends, but she actually is a member of the Potter's House, and she actually came to the Potter's House to get prayer because she needed prayer for being a new district attorney and its prosecutors. Y'all, I wish the weirdness stopped there, but it does not. Now, check out this image. Now, another nosy bystander last night in the live told me that Cora has a unusual doll collection, and there's nothing wrong with collecting dolls, but let me read you the caption and tell me if you catch this. "I collect dolls. A lot of them got destroyed in the flood, so I'm starting over. This is the start, minus one that's at my mom's house. They are watching television. Hashtag doll collector, hashtag serious business, hashtag love dolls, hashtag will pass down to my children. Now she states from left to right, Amari, Sarita, and Logan. You're probably thinking, okay, what's weird about that? She named her dolls. Except Amari is the name of her daughter. Logan is the name of her son after she changed his name from Jason. And Sarita happens to be the name of her mother. And there's nothing unusual naming dolls after your children, except Logan. She did not have that child till 2014, and it's timestamped here 2013. And Amari, whom I don't believe she got until 2011 or 12. So that's unusual to say the least. Now, Sarita happens to be the name of her mother, but if Cora has this insatiability of naming her dolls after her children, there's a good chance she could be naming her third child Sarita. And if you didn't catch the first 4 posts, it seems like Cora is getting a third child named Ruby. But again, she has this insatiability of changing her children's names. So if this child truly is hers, well, then it looks like she's going to be naming them Sarita. We'll come back with a part 6, but I don't know what I'm going to uncover yet. And thanks to everyone who sent me this information.
Y'all, I think I gotta go for today because this is weird. Y'all, okay. Okay, let me think. Let me think because this is my first time watching this video, y'all. Y'all know I didn't know about the dolls. Okay, so let's rewind. The fact that the judge is a member of the church, that is crazy, and she should be investigated. She should be investigated. That's number one. I can't say too much for legal reasons on what that is. That right there is inappropriate. It's the dolls. It's the dolls. It's the dolls. So she's stealing babies. And I want to know what's going to happen with this whole baby Ruby, this new baby. What's the baby's name? Ruby, Ryan, whatever. This little baby. If she changes the little baby's name, because I had already said the Instagram was weird because like the mom is tagging her. Let me show y'all real quick so we won't lose that. I don't know if Stephanie, homegirl Stephanie, gonna break it down, but let's see real quick. Let's look at Cora's Instagram, because y'all know Instagram has a new feature now where if someone tags you in it, it pops up on your TL. So let's pause this real quick. We're going to go back to Stephanie. We're going to go back to homegirl Stephanie. I like Stephanie. I'm going to have to subscribe because me and Stephanie are nosy and she got the shit done, baby. That's why I ain't going to give her hats off. So this is Cora's Instagram. This right here, I was like, who is this lady? This is the mom, Mo Speaks. She said, doing this reel was perfect considering the way my labor went. Ruby Grace literally walked herself out. She caught the doctors and nurses off guard and came out when she wanted to. She already moves to the beat of her own drum, and I'm excited to watch her grow. Thank you, sis, Cora, for everything. Your love for us is breathtaking. So grateful for you. So this mom is actively thanking Cora. So it's giving weird. Here's another post. The journey of grace begins. Ruby Grace and Mo Speaks. Thanks for making loving you easy. Thanks to everyone who made Monet's birth magical. She's there every step of the way, baby. Every step. This is the mom and the baby. But Cora has this video. This is the video Cora made. You see her, the mom walking into the hospital. Cora's right there. Cora's right there. She's leaving. Cora's right there. I was like, what the fuck? Here's another one. My best friend gave me quite possibly the best gift ever during the hardest transition of my life. She has given me another goddaughter. I'm the godmother to all her girls. This is the last one for her, so I wanted to make it special for her. Everyone needs a Ruby Grace. Everyone needs a Mo Speaks. Another goddaughter. Thank you, sis, for trusting me with your last heartbeat. No. 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 It's not giving goddaughter, godmother. It's not. Oh, that's not it. It was creepy. It was really creepy. It was really, really creepy. It's really creepy. I'm not trusting this whole I'm the godmom story. You was the godmom to the last baby you stole. It's really giving weird. It's really giving weird. I'm so scared. Like this story, I got kind of goosebumps because I didn't know that people do this stuff in plain sight like this. So let's head back over to Stephanie to see what else she was able to uncover in part 6.5. Y'all stay with me. We reacting to this in real time under fair use and commentary. This is my commentary for educational purposes.
All right. Part 6-ish. So first, let me thank all of you guys for sounding the alarm about this kooky family, allegedly. And next, let me thank all of you nosy bystanders for rocking with me through these trying times. Okay, let's get right into this story. So I got the chance to actually talk to Michelle. That's right, Michelle. And she cleared up a lot of misconceptions that were in my last video. So let's go through those. Now, y'all remember this judge with the bad hair? She actually wasn't the judge presiding over the case. She was actually Cora's attorney. She then recused herself as her attorney for reasons unknown, and Cora went ahead and got herself a different attorney. The actual judge on the case is Nancy Berger. She's the one who presided over the case, and right after the case ends, she went ahead and retired. And that seems a little suspicious to me. Now, after speaking to Michelle and re-listening to her live video on Facebook, which I encourage you to go check out, Michelle made a really damning statement about what occurred at the second trial. Michelle stated that Cora did not want to release her medical records to the judge. And that's interesting because based on someone's medical records, they could be deemed suitable or not suitable to care for a child. And since Cora didn't release them, there's no way to figure out what it is she was trying to hide from the courts. Except one of you nosy bystanders actually reached out to me and stated that Cora had actually did a stint in California because of some issues she was having back home in Texas. Now, we can't prove as to why she was in California, but we can go all the way back to her MySpace era, and we can see that Cora Jakes posted a photo here of her in Beverly Hills, California. Now, if you ask me, I want to know why she was in Beverly Hills, California, but that's besides the point. Let's get to the point where we find a history of Cora taking in a lot of children. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. And after spending some days in the Wayback Machine, I was actually able to find a litany of tweets from Cora naming a slew of babies. In a tweet seen here, Cora actually states, "My hubby won't admit it, but JoJo is a mama's boy. He was fussy all day till he got to me, and now he's out like a light laying down." And then this is where Cora actually tags her husband, whose Twitter page is no longer available. But I'd like to ask, who is baby JoJo? In another tweet from 2011, Cora actually states, "Teething has to be the worst thing for kids. Kinsley is trying to eat everything." Again, we don't know who Kinsley is because Cora does not speak of Kinsley or JoJo. In another tweet I found from 2012, Cora states, "Pray saints, I'm 20 minutes away from home and I left my wallet at home by accident and I have all 3 of my girls with me." We don't know who these 3 girls are, so don't come asking me because I don't know. I'm just trying to lay down a pipeline of a ton of babies that have come in and out of Cora's life. And that's just the beginning. I'm going to have to post another part because this is where the story gets a bit sinister.
Wait, y'all. Wait. So I don't think, I'm sorry. This is my initial thought. We'll finish watching Stephanie's parts. But I'm just going to say my theory before we get to the next parts. Because I'm watching this in real time with y'all. I didn't see these videos. I needed 1 more hour of this story. But anyway, I think these are dolls. I think she is living through the dolls. So JoJo, Sierra, Sienna, whatever the baby's names is, and 3 in the back seat, the teething one. It's giving dolls. I don't think that these are real babies. I don't think that, because if y'all seen the last TikTok with me, she said that the other baby was at the mama's house watching TV. So she talks like these kids are alive. Okay. So and if you guys follow the whole doll sensation, because I forgot to mention this, y'all know those like real live looking dolls, they feed them. Like, people even went off recently on these people who do those little realistic dolls because they give them baby formula. Y'all know we in a baby shortage. We in a baby formula shortage. So they really think that these dolls are real. I know firsthand. I literally worked with a woman who had a baby doll. Those real reborn, that's what they're called, reborn dolls. And she brought it to work. She dressed it up. She talked about it. She literally did her hair. They literally talk about these dolls like they're real. So this is my assumption. I can't say for sure, but I can say for sure kids would not be running in and out of the house, because we already have confirmed that the husband, had a lengthy criminal record. They are not certified adoption parents. No. So babies ain't in and out. These are dolls, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but these are dolls. I think so. So let's see what else Stephanie had to say.
Well, nosy is not the word for what we're trying to uncover. So, part 7. So shout out to our nosy bystander who actually left me this link to this video I'm about to show you, and I'm going to tag them below. So go follow them.
For a moment, I'd like to speak to you on the subject topic, don't divide the baby. Take the baby and run.
If practicing what you preach were a person, that would be Cora. Now let's head back to Twitter, because there is a thread that I want to show you guys. So another one of our nosy bystanders, who happens to be my mother, actually asked this question. Did Cora have a license to be a foster parent? Well, 1, we don't know. And 2, if she was, there is no evidence that I've been able to uncover to say that. But Cora has all the time and energy to produce that information. So back to this Twitter thread. And to preference this, Cora actually went through a slew of different Twitter handles, and Mommy to Amari is one of them. Now that Twitter handle happened to not exist anymore, but you can type the name into Twitter and it'll give you a slew of threads. So to begin, this Twitter thread is written by someone named Purposely Chosen. They're actually reaching out to Sarita Jakes, TD Jakes' wife, and Cora Jakes' mother. They state at the top, I want to contact your daughter. Our organization serves displaced pregnant and parenting teens and their babies, and the website is purposelychosen.org. Cora jumps into the thread and states, my mother is amazing. I'm not sure what daughter of hers you're speaking of, Sarah Jakes or me, but either way, hello. Purposely Chosen actually replies back to Cora and Cora's old Twitter handle and states, hi, I believe it's Sarah. My organization serves displaced pregnant and parenting teens. I was a teen parent as well. Now, the reason why I inserted that thread in here is because it seems like if Cora was not a registered foster parent, then there is a correlation between teens who are pregnant or young adults who are pregnant who are parenting their teens who might need some help. The fact that Cora chimed in on that tweet when it did not reference her, it actually referenced her sister. And if you didn't know, Sarah Jakes was a teen mom herself. Sarah Jakes actually got pregnant and had her baby at the age of 14. The Jakes family actually helped her raise and nurture that child, and that child is still with the family till this day. But again, that tweet is so mysterious. Now, here are some other tweets that I found of Cora dating all the way back to 2010. In this thread, Cora was not married and she had not had any children with her. And at the time, she was working for a nanny service. And here's another tweet from 2010 and stating the last day of June, anyone need a nanny? We don't exactly know where Cora's insatiable appetite to be a mother comes from. And it might play a lot of reference as to why she has this appetite for children. But stay tuned, because I'm sure I'm going to be able to dig up more and think.
Yeah, India. I said that at the beginning. I don't think I said her age, but yeah, there was a huge scandal around TD Jake's daughter that had that teen pregnancy. And that's what I thought we were going to be talking about, but hopefully we find out what that baby is up to, because We know the mom. Sarah's now married. I believe she's now married. I can't say for certain, but I think she's married. Y'all know my ear be to the streets. I think she's married, but I'll double back on that and look into that, because if the baby, like Stephanie just said, is still in that household, then that could be a problem. I strongly believe that women who want children, they are desperate. So when they say that she has like an appetite for kids, it's because she wants to be a mother. That comes from grooming. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're babies, we get to hold baby dolls. We get to be told when you have a baby, when you're a mom, you're going to do this. So when some women are deprived of that ability, they're not able to actually have kids, they do become a little bit obsessive. So I am sensitive to that fact of what Cora could be going through, but it is very concerning about what is going on. Like, I'm very concerned. She's been a nanny. She's the youth leader of the church. Like, she's always around kids, and that gets kind of dangerous, especially with these allegations of her allegedly taking people's kids. Whew. Baby. Yes, India, this is it. A lot of women value themselves through their ability to create life. So I am very sensitive to that. I think that that's where it started, but now it has really went off the hinges, and she has married a man that has serious allegations against children, and it's against the one that is in the house. Okay? Just crazy, crazy. Miss Rob, what did you find out on Google when you looked them up? Is Sarah married? Let's go to the next video while we wait on your comment.
Sure, because this is where the story gets insane. Part 8. Okay, so we're going to pivot for a moment. We're going to actually talk about this couple right here. So this is Sarah and this is Robert, and these are their 2 little children. And if you don't quite know who Sarah is, let me show you a better picture. This is Sarah, and this is her father, T.D. Jakes. Now, we've already discussed Cora, and this is where the story, again, gets insane. Now, while continuously researching this story, I actually found some more shocking information. And so here we go. So Sarah and Robert were married in 2008 and had this cute little toddler right here. And this is Sarah's first son from her teen pregnancy. Now, the mystery behind Sarah's first son's father is, well, a mystery. We don't actually know who Malachi's father is. We just know that it's never been disclosed, at least to us. But according to a little bit of source of information, it turns out that Sarah's family, as powerful as they are, has pushed Malachi's father out of the picture. When his father came back to try to get some sort of leverage into his son's life, again, here come the Jakes. Now that Sarah has her feet wet, she's actually taken a play out of her own playbook. Now, back in July of 2012, Sarah actually announced her divorce from that linebacker and made sure to put out a really nice press release for us to read. And the reason we know why it happened in the summer of 2012, well, come look at this. That's because T.D. Jakes was actually being honored at the McDonald's 365 Awards ceremony and for community service at the Essence Film Festival. And funny enough, here is Roland Martin, T.D. Jakes, and Sarah. And Robert is nowhere to be found. Now, after that star-studded event, Sarah went ahead and asked Robert for a divorce, and this is where the story gets sinister. According to my sources, Sarah went ahead and hired one of the most powerful attorneys at the time to represent her. Want to guess who that is? Our favorite attorney, Judge Faith. But that's not where the story ends. According to sources, after the divorce, Robert actually has not seen his child since 2014, that little tiny baby girl that we saw earlier. But Sarah wasn't done yet. Look what Sarah had lined up just after announcing her divorce.
They was looking for what's inside of them. And I came to tell you tonight at this conference, get ready to do some digging, because we're going to find out why you went through what you went through. We're going to find out why they hurt you. We're going to find out why they broke you, because you didn't just go through to go through. He's got something in you. He's got something inside of you. Do you believe it?
I most certainly do. Now, peep the name, right? Sarah wasn't actually legally divorced during that Woman Thou Art Loose conference, but they made sure to change her name to Sarah Jakes just before she got on stage. And if you think that's the end of the story, think again, because look who's set to line up their final Woman Thou Art Loose conference. And there you have it, Cora Jakes. Part 9.
Baby, y'all still here? Y'all still here? First of all, let me just say, Stephanie, if you stumble upon my YouTube video, hey girl, hey. But baby, you reading my mind because I have not watched all your videos. I just asked about Sarah. And boom, look at it. You just gave me a whole video on Sarah. Okay, let's be very clear. I want to talk about, have y'all seen Greenleaf? It's giving me Greenleaf. Like these people that run these churches be weird AF. Weird. I've never TD, and mind you, TD Jakes, he is behind the whole women that are loose. Y'all know he had the one movie with what is the lady's name? I need that money. Kimberly Elise. Oh my God. I hope I did not butcher her name. I don't even know what her name is, baby. What is the lady's name? Where basically she killed the man. She killed the man that was essaying her as a child, and she's in prison. He writes a lot of very dark things, and it's giving me, because he lives this. His children are weird AF, and they are a product of their environment. I don't care what anyone says. Whatever's going on in that church, in that household, something's not right, especially for Sarah to have been, having a baby at 14. Nothing is normal about that. Okay, let's see what else she got to say. This is crazy, y'all.
You're correct. Let's get to part 9. Now, because the story is ongoing, we're doing a lot of pivoting. So let me make a few things abundantly clear, okay? So the reason why we're mentioning Sarah's story, right? Like, how does she come into play, right? You following? Is because it's a pattern of this isolation of these children from their biological parents or their other parents, and then basically using the court system to strip the other parents from their paternal rights to their children. Sarah and Cora have used the same attorney, this one, Judge Faith Johnson, to basically do all of their bidding. And so now that we're all caught up to speed, let's lay out all of the characters before I insert this other disturbing stuff, okay? So Sarah allegedly strips her firstborn son's father from his right to see his child, okay? That's the first instance. In the second instance, Sarah has allegedly stripped her ex-husband from the right to see his child, who he has not seen since 2014. 3, Cora, using the same attorney, Judge Faith, we call her Judge Faith, but she's also an attorney as well, okay, has used Judge Faith to now strip Michelle from her son, Jason. Obviously, Cora has not learned how to do this on her own. Her sister's playbook is what she's learning from. The second thing that we know is that the sisters tend to get themselves out of relationships gearing up for the Woman Thou Art Loose conferences. And why is that important? It's important because their storyline, right, of these broken divorcees plays really well for book sales. And if you didn't know, churches sell the most self-help books than any other industry in America. Now let's get to this Instagram post from Cora. So this was actually sent to me on Twitter from a nosy bystander. This image was taken on October 10th of 2012. The image seen here is Cora holding a baby's hand, and in the caption it says, "Best part of my day, hashtag Jason is extraordinary." And now you're probably asking yourself, why is this image unusual, right? Well, it's unusual because this baby is not Jason. This is Jason, and in this image, he's only 7 weeks old. And check the date, it's 2014. Now, why would Cora be calling this mystery baby Jason? The short answer is we don't know. We can only speculate that she was gearing up to name that baby Jason. But that baby happened to be baby Jojo, or baby Josiah, the baby that was stripped from Cora by his biological mother. Part 10 on Saturday. Okay, you're correct. Let's get to part 9 now.
Huh? What? First of all, let's just say this. Okay, so I know we have a lot of moms in the building. So I'm just gonna speak for myself. You guys can chime in if you guys agree. We all have dreamed about what we're gonna name our children, right? So before I had my kids, I knew my kid's name, wink, wink, or I thought I knew, right? Once I got pregnant, I didn't name them the names that I thought I was gonna name them. On the other hand, I have friends who have knew that they were gonna name their kid Elizabeth Johnson. In the 7th grade, she was like, I'm going to name my baby Elizabeth Johnson. And she gave birth 20 years later to Elizabeth Johnson. So it's crazy that this lady is naming dolls and humans the same names. Like, oh my God, where is she getting these babies from, y'all? She does have a close connection. During that time, if my memory serves me correctly, Stephanie already showed tweets about her being a nanny. So maybe that was the nanny's, that was the kid that she was nannying. I don't know, but I think it's very inappropriate for her to have left these pictures up, or weird, not inappropriate, for her to have left these pictures up on her Instagram of her obsession. Ooh, baby, this is crazy. Let me copy this name for you, Trey. It's Stephanie. Let me type it in the chat. She said part 10 is gonna be up Saturday. This is really crazy, and it speaks volumes that she is getting all this information from other people, like how y'all do me. Y'all send me stories and clips. She's getting the same, and we're all going down the same pattern. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Let's see what she said when she said we found the daddy, and then we'll wrap it up there.
I want to give a shout out to the nosy bystanders who have been rocking with us since the beginning of the story. Thank you. And I mean that really, thank you. Okay. The second thing I want to do is give a shout out to all the people who are, coming from behind the trenches, who are afraid to share their story and trusting me to help share this story with you. Thank you. Part 10 is coming Saturday. Okay. And yes, it's a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. Part 10 and 11 are coming Saturday. The reason why I'm not producing them today is because I have to focus on another story about another mom who a baby was taken from her, who may not be getting the same attention as this story here. Okay. So we're going to work on that story today, and then we're going to work on the story parts 10 and 11 this Saturday. Okay. And when I tell you it's a doozy, honey, it's a doozy. Shout out to the nosy bystander who reached out to me and shared this information with me. And because I know y'all gonna ask in the comment section, just know we found the father. We found him. Yeah. See you Saturday.
Y'all, please, 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 if you have a TikTok, go follow Stephanie on there now. If you guys are already on YouTube, go check out Larry Reed. This story is bananas. I did not think we was going to go down this path. I thought, okay, let me just be very real with y'all. I thought we was going to do what we typically do, where, we'd be like, this is just so wrong. And then we kind of wrap it up. It's the fact that it's more than this just being wrong. This is literally, people have broken the law. People have taken children away from people. People have profited off of this weird obsession. And it all goes to show why, I have a hard time covering children's stories anyway. Y'all know that. But it goes to show why we really need to protect our children. You guys need to stop relying on these false prophets to tell you what to do with your children. When you get in a low place and it's hard to get out of it, please seek someone that you actually know. I know a lot of people say, you know, come as you are with the church, come as you, but there are evil people that literally can sense weakness. They prey on that. They find you and they take advantage of you. So then when you get out of that spot, you are forever stuck under them. It's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. And it goes to show now that I'm an adult, I know why my dad did not play that. We didn't go over people's house. We didn't do that type of stuff. Never, never, never. And I never do it with my kids. My kids are only around my sisters and their grandparents. That's it. We have to stay into that because these women, as you guys can see, are broken, and rightfully so. When we go through a lot of things, it's hard to be strong. It's hard to, you know, keep our minds together. So ideally, we would want to trust in someone that's preaching of God. But this whole church has a serious issue. Like, and in the Black family, I will say, like Trey said, she said her cousin had something happen to her similarly, but it was the family. I will say that I know a lot of families who take people's children and won't give them back until they feel like they meet requirements. I know that that has happened in my family as well, where people will, you know, where your parents will take your children and not give them back until you are right and things like that. And I don't agree with that either. But baby, this right here, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope, nope, nope. This is crazy, y'all. This was a really fun live. I really had a lot of fun. Y'all know I love to do this stuff, and I'm excited that someone as nosy as me is covering this because, baby, I usually be the one in the trenches. I be really I just didn't have enough time. I thought I was covering a blanket story so far. I had no idea it was going to uncover like this. Now, would I have found out? Hell yeah. Y'all would have just had to give me a few more days. I would have found the sisters and stuff. But this right here, it's not appropriate. And the main reason being is there's no way you can stand on a pulpit and preach the word of God while y'all are stealing people's children. Y'all are depriving fathers of being around their children. Y'all are laying down with men that hurt children. All these type of things. You are not of God. Period, point blank. And like India said, do not worship man. Do not look for God in man. Period, point blank. Because like people are of God, they are just like the fallen angel, the devil. These people come, they shapeshift, they come to you and they know exactly what to tell you to make you believe them. And things like this is the reason why our generation walked away from the church. This is the reason why our generation will not follow the traditions of the church because the church is wrong. Another person y'all can look at is My Life as Nia. She had a video earlier this week where a pastor stood on the pulpit and used God and God's word as a way to overshadow him hurting a woman, a young girl, saying a young girl, and saying that, you know, he just committed adultery. No, nothing of God would make you want to do anything to children. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. Yeah, it's not about money. It's not yeah, it's not about money. It's entitlement. I agree, India. They think that they are just the better suited parent. And with Cora, in my opinion, I feel like she was desperate, rightfully so. Everybody wants to be a mother. And if you don't, some people don't want to be mothers. And I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that, girl. Look, baby, if you don't want to have no kids, don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of expensive. So I'm all for the aunties of the world, the momties of the world that just don't want any kids in their house. But it's some people who are obsessed with children that they let their obsession overshadow what they really want, which is children. And Cora had enough money, she had enough sense to actually go down the right avenues of adopting a child. It's just like I posted the other day. People are so worried about what we do with our wombs if we want to get ABs, but they literally overlook the overflowing amount of people in foster care. They go over to China and they go over to Africa and they adopt all these foreign children when we literally have foster homes down the street. Children are not easy, whether you birth them yourself or you adopt. So you thinking that you can overturn the system and cheat your way into it to get these kids is wrong. If you want a baby, Cora, take your ass down there to the goddamn foster care system after you left that damn husband, but you can't because you can't pass the psyche vows. That's literally what it is, allegedly, in my opinion. She can't pass the psyche vows. That's why she won't release her health records. That's where my mind went, and that's where it's staying. Her ass cannot get children, and rightfully so. Her ass cannot have children. They said no for a reason. The children are in danger with you. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow when you want to be a mother. But maybe, I don't know, because now you might be in jail. I don't know. Everybody's going to be investigated because the internet is a powerful place. It really is powerful. People are able to put things together. Look what they just did. And I look to my grandma. My grandma is very heavy in the word of God. And, her discernment is A1, like most grandmothers. And she does not like TD Jakes. She didn't like TD Jakes. She don't like Kirk Franklin. She don't like none of them people. She been and said that man is fake and phony. And growing up and hearing that, I'm like, Grandma, you are so tough on these people. Like, what did they do? But she's right. She is definitely right. She is right. It is so sad. I know we've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. We can either come back and we can talk about this if y'all want to do a part 2 after Stephanie drops some more, or I can drop the call-in link if y'all want to call in and give y'all opinion now. Just let me know. I got a few minutes to spare. So if y'all want to do the call-ins, y'all can call in now, or we can come back maybe Saturday night and we can react to Stephanie. We can do some more digging on our own and see what we come up with, because this is going to be a series for sure, baby. Like, this is going to be a series. I truly cannot believe this. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I want to see what TD Jakes has to say. Like, that damn man been crooked since crooked. That big ass church. And I like how Stephanie brought up the fact that they do sell the most books. Their book sales, churches have the most book sales. And that when she said it, I was like, damn, she's right. Like, yeah. So especially TD Jakes. Y'all know anything about TD Jakes? He sells books, he sells movies, he does the whole nine. So he has that church, that mega church. So he is making money. And even with all the scandals, he's still able to he's still able to people are still, worshiping his every word. It's really crazy. So, okay, y'all saying a part 2. We're definitely going to come back for a part 2. I'm going to do some more digging, see what I find up. And part 2, we're going to probably let y'all call in and we'll do a reaction to what Stephanie found as well. Because, baby, this is crazy. But without further ado, I'm going to let y'all go and enjoy the rest of y'all day. This has been a fun live. If you are watching my replay, please subscribe and like on your way out. Y'all have been real.
And thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Ms. Marcel. Yo, all props to you. And just you keep doing what you're doing. And you got a voice. Keep doing what you're doing. And you got a voice.